Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Tom, I'm a makeup artist from London. Today we're going to be talking sensitive eyes. One of my subscribers popped a request in the comments and said that she suffers from sensitive eyes and wanted to know how she could apply her makeup more comfortably and just better. In my job, I come across a lot of sort of pain points, and sensitive eyes is definitely one of the bigger ones. I think we all know that if your eyes start watering, you've pretty much lost the game. They're not going to stop watering, they can completely ruin your makeup, so stopping that from happening is really, really important. I've got a few tips and tricks and I'm going to talk to you about them in this video. So I think that sensitive eyes can sort of be broken up into three main topics. The first one being sensitivity to product, the second being sensitivity to formulation, and then the third one being application. Now, formulation and application are quite linked, so I'll talk about them together, but the first one, product, is that often people are actually sensitive or allergic to specific products that they're using on their eyes. One of the most difficult parts of this is that a lot of products do use the same base ingredients, so it's very, very hard to sort of find products that are different enough that might be able to sort of negate your sensitivity. It also makes it really difficult to eliminate products because you're not really sure which little ingredient it is that's making the difference. Nowadays, there are a lot of different makeup ranges, so there's more natural brands, sort of vegan brands, which do take away a lot of the sort of chemicals or ingredients that may cause you some sensitivity or irritation. For example, Clinique, I think, were one of the first. They have sort of like a sensitive range, so you could go and try sensitive eyeshadows. If not, do try the more sort of natural brands. The only problem there is that some people are also allergic to the more natural brands. It is unfortunately a case of trial and error, so you're just going to have to keep testing bits and pieces. Go in and have a trial on a counter, obviously times maybe not, but later on go in, have a little trial, see what it feels like on the eye. If it feels good, go with it. If not, if you feel any little twinge, just move straight away. This unfortunately is quite expensive because you do have to try a lot of things, but I tend to find most people aren't actually allergic to the product per se. It can just be about the formula or the movement of the application where you're really rubbing your eyes. So that's where I'm going to take it to the next bit, which is formula. Let's say you're using a powder eyeshadow and you're getting an average brush and you're popping it on the eye, you're spending some time blending. That's actually a lot of irritation for a sensitive eyelid. If you think about having sensitive skin on your face, you wouldn't rub. You'd want to be very, very gentle, maybe sort of patting in, really gentle movements and not touching it as much as you can. And that has to be the same for your eyes. The skin around the eyes is incredibly, incredibly sensitive. So you're going to want to be as gentle as you can. If you can switch your products into creams, that immediately is going to make your life much easier because you can use your finger to just gently rub across the eye, and within seconds, you're going to be blended out. Now, you can't necessarily say the same for all eyeshadows. Different formulas sort of are harder or drier. So if you're going to get your brush in there and you're going away, blending and blending, because that is what you will need to do to make sure that you have a seamless sort of makeup look, yeah, you might come into some trouble there. It might start causing you to tear up or to go a little bit red. Creams, liquids, sticks, any of those products will be much easier on the eye. And then if you do need to use a brush, you may only need to use it sort of once or twice wiping over. Just be super gentle. So I've touched a little bit on formula there, and it also sort of started to come into application. One of the biggest differences between the way a makeup artist does makeup on someone and what I have witnessed people doing on their own makeup, and also what I do for myself, but let's say when I see my friends doing their makeup or they're on the tube, they tend to be a little bit more aggressive. A makeup artist will always use the absolute lightest pressure possible. Not only is it good just to protect your eyes from sensitivity, but also it actually makes products work much better. The more pressure that you add, actually the worse the makeup application often looks. The products are supposed to be gently buffed in. So if you do have an eyeshadow that you want to use, just use the lightest pressure you possibly can to blend around. This might take away a lot of your sensitivity just in general, because you're not putting as much pressure, you're not dragging, you're not tugging. It does take longer and it's a little bit, it takes a bit to get used to, but I promise you it will make the world of difference to your eyes. I have super sensitive eyes. super sensitive skin in general, so I do try to be quite gentle when I'm applying my makeup, and I think you will benefit from it. You can also choose to get different types of brushes, so natural hair brushes are much softer. You run into the problem if you sort of are a more ethical consumer, or if you're vegan, because obviously you're not going to want to use natural brushes, but they are the softest things possible. If you have super sensitive eyes, this may just be the way for you. They are extortionately expensive. These two brushes, for example, are from Hakuhodo. I absolutely adore them, but yeah, they do cost you an arm and a leg. You may need to mortgage your house to get some. Nowadays, synthetic brushes, just like any regular brushes, they are much cheaper, they're much softer than they used to be, so you might want to just try them out before you buy them. And if you are going to use these sort of synthetic ones, just really, really be gentle when you're applying it to your eyes. As you know, a lot of my videos are sort of more focused on downtoned and hooded eyes, because that's just the eye type that I have. And I've noticed that a lot of people who do have downturned or hooded eyes actually also suffer from sensitivity, because when we're putting creams on our face or eye cream around the eyes, the product can actually start to melt when the skin warms up. It then leads it to sort of run into our eyes, because these hoods are touching down here. And I don't know, you might not be able to see on this video, but I essentially have like a small groove here that acts as a slide for my products to go straight into my eyes. So if I know that I'm wearing eye makeup, I always steer clear away from putting my eye creams around this part of my eye, because I just know that as my skin warms up naturally, the product might melt straight into it. And once those tears have started, they're not going to stop. My final tip is for when you're taking off your makeup. Soak your cotton rounds in makeup remover and leave them on your eyes. Now, I know that at this point you're not really worried about your makeup per se because you're taking it off. However, I do find that the more irritation that you sort of cause to your eyes, cumulatively it seems to get worse and worse. So when you are taking your makeup off, if you soak it in sort of like one of those, you know, the duo cleansers where they have an oil and a water, shake that up and then leave them on the eyes to melt most of that product away before you do any sort of rubbing. Rubbing on the eyes is just a big no-no in general. It's not good for the very, very sort of thin, delicate skin. So do just try your best to let it soak in, dissolve away the makeup, and then very, very gently swipe it all away. I really don't recommend using anything abrasive like a makeup wipe. I know that's sort of the standard for a lot of girls out there because they're very accessible, but I really, really think if you can, try to avoid it. If you are someone who also has sort of like oil cleansers or balm cleansers, they're fabulous to take makeup off because you can put it all over your face, rub it in, but really, really gently as if you're giving yourself a nice little massage, and then gently wash it all away. That's something that's much, much less abrasive and less aggravating to the skin, especially around the eyes. So yeah, all my tips basically are be as gentle as possible. Don't tug at your eyes, whether, you know, depending on the formula, depending on the tool, it's all about being as gentle as possible. And obviously you have to do some of your own research if you are particularly sensitive to a certain ingredient. That one really is a struggle, but I would recommend trying out those brands that are sort of created specifically for people who have those issues. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to pop them in the comments. I try to respond to every single comment. I think so far I've managed to keep it up, so please do pop them in there. If there's anything else you want to see, also pop them in. I'd love to record more request videos for you because I'd love to record the content that is actually the most useful. I hope you've had a great sort of festive period, a new year, and are ready to tackle whatever this year throws at us. Please do stick around, so subscribe to my channel, like the videos, interact with me as much as you can. I really, really appreciate it, and I will see you all again next time. Bye, guys.